In this video, we're going to be running through an eToro account setup on desktop. We'll be looking at the pros and cons of using eToro as a broker, running through the interface and the whole setup process, and then giving a quick review of all the services that eToro offers on the platform. I'm Steve, and this is the Learnings Report, a show where we make investing accessible and understandable for everyone. So what are the pros and cons of using the eToro platform? Well, first and foremost, the eToro platform offers the ability to buy fractional shares. This means you don't need the full amount of cash to buy a full share of a company. You can buy in with however much money you have at the time available to you to invest. eToro also offers a number of securities and financial instruments to trade from, so you can look at trading stocks, ETFs, cryptos, CFDs and derivatives. eToro also allows you to use a bank card to link to your account to lodge funds, whereas other brokers will need a direct link to your bank account. Another great perk is that you get the demo account access, which means you have $100,000 of virtual funds to play around with and get a feel for the platform. As you can see here, they also have a pretty decent mobile interface. Again, you can do most of the things on desktop that you can do on mobile. So what are the cons of using the eToro platform? Well, first and foremost, although the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange are listed on the eToro platform, you can't necessarily buy every stock that's listed on those exchanges. Some are available, some are not, so don't be too surprised if you go and research a company and find it's not available on the eToro platform. A second con of the eToro platform is that the base currency, at least at the time of recording, is in US dollars. So if you are lodging euro or any other currency that's not US dollar, you will need to pay a conversion fee every time you deposit money. As an Irish investor, at least at the time of recording, there's a minimum deposit of $200 per account. However, after that first initial deposit is complete, the minimum is $50 thereafter. It is worth noting though that this amount does vary by country, so if you're watching this outside of Ireland, do make sure to check the eToro website to find out exactly what the minimum deposit is for you. The last con of the eToro platform is that it's worth noting that you cannot transfer your positions out of eToro. So if you decide down the road that you want to switch brokers to a more advanced platform, you won't be able to take your shares from the eToro platform and transfer them to another brokerage. Again, it might not be relevant to you, but it is important to keep in mind. So without further ado, let's get straight into eToro. So first and foremost, we're going to be doing this on desktop, but as mentioned, they do have a mobile platform and the setup process is pretty similar. First thing you want to do is click Join Now. Up will pop this account and you can just put in your desired username, email and password and click Create Account. So once you add your email, your username and your password, the account opens up pretty much straight away. Feel free to browse around the platform as soon as you've gone through this process, but in order to actually invest, you are going to need to finish by completing a profile. So let's go straight to that step. First, of course, they're going to ask for your profile info, such as your name, your gender, and your birthday. So make sure to fill these out exactly as they match the ID or passport that you're going to use. So once you've completed your profile, the next step is filling your address. Remember, this box down here is very important to mark yourself as not a US citizen, as at the time of recording, eToro is not available to US citizens. Next up, you're going to be asked about your experience with investing so far. Make sure to just click whatever is appropriate to you. On this next screen, we're then asked about leverage trading experience. If you're a beginner investor, you're unlikely to understand what this actually is, but essentially it's a more risky form of investing and usually is involved with trading CFDs, futures, options, foreign exchange, margin trading, etc. So again, you're unlikely to have ever traded this, but if you have, of course, just mark whatever is appropriate to you. For this screen, they're going to ask about your trading knowledge so far. If you have any of these three, either professional certificates, academics degrees, or you've attended some trading courses, feel free to select whatever and proceed to the next screen. You might get hit with this assessment question just asking you to figure out, okay, what sort of level of trading knowledge do you have? In this scenario, you just go through your answers, select the correct one. You might have a different question, but for the sake of this scenario, this is correct. And we move on to the next question. For the case of this example, I'm just going to be selecting stocks and crypto. The next screen here is asking about your trading strategy. On our channel, we promote long-term investing. So for us, it's going to be more than several months or years. On this screen, it asks your purpose of trading. Again, this is going to be personal to you. For me, it's going to be for additional revenues. You can only select one, so feel free to choose whichever one is more appropriate for yourself. Next question is about your attitude to risk. I think this is somewhat redundant in terms of the amount you put in, so feel free to put in whatever is appropriate to you. For the sake of the example, we'll put in 5 to 20,000. And then for the risk reward scenario, again, this is going to be a very personal question. I'm not actually entirely sure, does this have any really effect on what your profile is going to look like? But for the sake of the example, we'll just click in the one right in the middle here at 20%. Do any of the following apply to you? This again, as a flag, does not apply to most people. Financial status, again, just fill out your source of income and your occupation. This again is going to be very personal to you, so fill in what's appropriate. Okay, so you're almost finished. At this stage, you can continue to deposit more funds into your account. However, we suggest just finishing the verification process as you're almost finished anyway. Put in your phone number to get an activation code. So once you've submitted your phone number and all your other information, you're going to need to add 2 pieces of ID. So we would suggest first and foremost uploading your passport, as that will make the process quickest. And then secondly, a driver's license or another form of ID is probably best to use. So once you've uploaded your 2 pieces of ID, it's time then to enter in your tax identification number. For an Irish investor, this is going to be your PPS number. If there's another number applicable to you, if you're elsewhere in the EU, this is likely where you're going to enter that. And of course, if you are a tax resident in any other country, this is again where you'll add it. Okay, so that's pretty much the steps complete. Your account is now pending verification, and you'll receive an email from eToro once verification is complete. So once you've set up your account and your account is pending verification, you can still browse around the platform. And I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the interface and what services the eToro platform offers. So first and foremost, you can see here it opens your account up on a watch list. You can create your own watch list and add any companies you want to this. So just create test watch list, and then you can search for companies here, or you can just click the button add markets. So let's go into add markets, go to stocks, exchange. We're going to go down to the New York Stock Exchange, and you can add McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and whoever else you want. It is important to note that although the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ are available on the eToro platform, you can't invest in every single company that is listed on these exchanges, so you might end up looking for a company that doesn't actually appear. So let's do a test. We can do Beyond Meat is available, 2U is not available. So 2U is an education tech company. It is listed on the NASDAQ, but it is not available to invest on eToro. You'll also see over here below your profile photo that you can trade in both a real and a virtual portfolio. Real is obviously whatever funds you deposit yourself, but the great thing about eToro is you can use a virtual portfolio where you get $100,000 to spend on virtual stocks. So you can play around with it, get used to the platform, how the trading works, and it's just a pretty good way to get some practice without having to risk any of your own funds. Once you start investing, your portfolio will populate in this pie chart sort of space, and then you can view all your holdings and what percentage of your holdings make up your full account. There's also a newsfeed feature where you can follow other analysts and see what they're trading, which may or may not be useful depending on yourself. In the Discover tab here under Trade Markets, you can get a better overview of all the stocks, ETFs, crypto, etc. that is available on the eToro platform. You can scroll through these or search for them yourself. For the sake of the example, let's go over here and check out Salesforce. Within Salesforce, you get a little bit of a background on what the company is. You can see up here its current share price. You can see what people are talking about in terms of this kind of social news feed. What is also useful is you can look at the stats behind Salesforce. So you get a little bit of a fundamental analysis. You can see how the price trend has been for the past 3 years, 1 year, and the maximum. And you can also get a view of their market cap, its PE ratio, and a little bit on its revenues, etc. As you scroll down, you can see a financial summary where you can look at some important information in terms of income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statements. Again, really vital information when doing your investment research. eToro markets itself heavily on being a social trading platform, and what that means is that you can follow other investors on the platform who have performed well, or you could decide, okay, what sort of investing style am I like, and you can follow people who are already investing and basically copy the exact trades that they make. It is worth noting that you should be careful when copying a trader because they may be quite an active trader and they might make multiple trades over like days or weeks. So again, you need to be aware of the tax consequences of making constant trades. So do be careful when copying other traders. In addition, you can also look at full portfolios as opposed to individual traders, and you can copy those. So you can look at crypto portfolios, digital money payments, travel related stocks, and so on and so forth. So again, there's a lot of options here, but as always, do your due diligence on the traders or portfolios that you are copying. As we mentioned earlier, the verification process for eToro takes about a day or two. Again, this might take longer during busy periods, so just sit tight until you receive an email from eToro and then you should be able to begin trading. Of course, you can trade up to €2,000 in the meantime. One important flag for using the eToro platform is that eToro first began as a CFD trading platform. We won't go into CFDs too much in this video, but at a high level, CFDs are a derivative product. So when you are buying CFDs, you are not buying the underlying asset. This is important as a beginner investor because CFDs carry a lot more risk than buying the actual underlying stock itself. And when you are trading on the eToro platform, they do label the various securities as either CFDs or a stock. So do be careful when you are trading to make sure that you're trading the underlying stock and not the CFD. Of course, if you are interested in trading CFDs, then by all means educate yourself and research it before you start it. So once you've done your research and you're ready to start trading, you just come up to this button here, click trade, and you can see both buying and selling are your two options. For your buy, you can set it at the market rate, or you can decide exactly how much you're willing to pay for a share of Salesforce when the markets reopen. It's worth noting that at the time of recording, it is a public holiday, so the markets are currently closed. When choosing the amount of money you want to invest, you can put in a dollar amount, or you can actually set the amount of shares itself. So for example, one share of CRM or Salesforce is trading at just under $219 per share. So if you click 2 shares, you're going to be looking at a total cost of just under $440. However, if you only have a dollar amount that you want to invest, you can just type in, say, $75, and it will tell you exactly how many units of Salesforce you'll get. And of course, this is a fractional share because you're paying less than the full share price. So again, just to be aware of. That's one of the great perks about eToro, is that you are able to invest in fractional shares and you don't need the full amount for a single share. You can invest in whatever you have yourself. So hopefully that gives you a better overview of the eToro platform, its pros and cons, and how to use it. If you have any questions about how to set up an account or anything else we've discussed in this video, be sure to let us know in the comments below. And otherwise, see you in the next one.